Metaphor Refantazio was a game that I was extremely on the fence about. Not that the game looked bad by any means, it's just that in the month of October there are tons of games coming out and I didn't know if I was going to be able to fit a 100 plus hour JRPG into this month. So in my head I was like, okay, I'm not going to pick this up the day it releases because it literally came out the same day as Sparking Zero. I go down to my local game store and I'm looking and they got a collector's edition sitting right there on the shelf and I'm paying with cash, so of course it's free, you know what I mean? So I had to pick it up, man. I had to pick it up. And I am not gonna lie, man, I have barely even played Sparking Zero. Okay, I have played literally no Sparking Zero and I have just been sinking hours into this game. This game is incredible, okay? And I am not somebody who has played any Persona game or any Shinigami Tensei game. I have not played any of those. I've been wanting to get into them for a really long time. Metaphor Refantazio is my first Atlas game, okay? So long story short, this game is absolutely fantastic. This is an incredible game, and you've probably heard that about all of Atlas's games, right? You've probably heard that about Shinigami Tensei and Persona. I am somebody who has never played those games, like I said before, and the only thing holding you guys back from playing Metaphor Refantazio is probably the fact that it's a 100 plus hour JRPG, okay? That is really, really daunting and really intimidating, and you don't know if you're ready to sink that much time into this game, and you don't know if you want to spend that much money on this game. You don't even know if you're going to like JRPGs because it has a pretty niche audience, in my opinion. I'm here to say that Metaphor Refantazio is for you. Even if you don't know if you like JRPGs yet, if this is your first JRPG, this game is absolutely for you. We're going to go ahead and talk about it and talk about why you should definitely play this game. If you guys are new here, welcome. Make sure to drop a like and a subscribe if you do like these reviews. A lot of you guys are probably sitting there scratching your head, why is this guy reviewing the game so late? Well, that's just because I'm a normal guy, I'm a normal gamer, and you know, I got other things to do, but I like to formulate a full opinion and spend enough time on games before I drop these sorts of videos. We live in a day and age where the internet is moving so fast. I feel like a lot of games are being reviewed and praised when a lot of people haven't spent that much time into them. So hey, look no further because I'm a dude in your shoes as well. We just play games around here, man. I'm not paid by any video game companies or anything like that, but let's go ahead and get into this review, okay? So the number one thing I was skeptical about going into Metaphor Refantazio was fluff content. Okay, if you guys don't know what I'm referring to, I'm essentially referring to games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla that are like 70, 80 hour playthroughs that are just filled with nonsense, boring content that doesn't really add anything to the experience or the game. It's just there to be there and fluff up the game so it can be marketed as this super massive game, okay? That is what I was skeptical about, you know, with Metaphor Refantazio going into it, okay? And I'm here to say that that is not the case whatsoever, okay? This is like a 60 to 80 hour playthrough. I only have about like 25 hours in the game so far, so I'm not even done with my first playthrough, so I guess I can't speak on this entirely, but so far with my 25 hours of experience, all of the content has been just preem quality, man. It has been so good. The gameplay loop here is actually so much fun, man, and it gets you hooked right off the bat. So essentially you have like your main objectives and your main quests, right? But there's days in between, and there is a day and night cycle here, so days pass and you can see that as the game goes on. And you have deadlines to do your quests, but there's enough space in between the deadlines for main quests where you can run around and do other things like side quests, so you can go build relationships with your party, or you can go, you know, learn new characteristics by talking to this person and new skills, and you're doing other things besides just combat and exploring the world. Like maybe you're cooking some food, or maybe you're talking to someone about something, and it's just these little tasks that you do throughout the day that add a ton of, you know, progress towards your progression, which makes it super satisfying. And I know that sounds boring to a lot of you, especially if you haven't played any of these types of games, you know, and that's something that I thought would be really boring, but it makes the gameplay loop so much more fun because there's so much variety here with what you can do, and it adds a ton of liveliness to this world. That's the best way to put it. This world is super lively, and it's super interactable, and it's amazing. Your home base, or like your central hub in this game, is also like what you travel across the world in, so it adds this sense of adventure as well. Like you'll be traveling across the world and you get attacked by someone else in another vehicle, and then you know, get a random combat encounter, or you go, you know, talk to your party members and you build relationships, and you learn, I guess upgrade those social links that's in Persona. It's the same kind of deal here, you know what I mean? It's just great. It's a great gameplay loop because it just immerses you in this world even more, and it takes it a step further than just combat and exploring things in an open world and just checking things off. It's really, really unique, and I love it, and it's so much fun. I didn't think I would like this formula, but this formula, it's incredible. It's such an addicting gameplay loop, and it's so much fun. Moving on, the combat and the dungeons and the level design is also so much fun. Like, the dungeons are super simple, like they're not overly complicated, but they're lengthy and there's a lot in them, and you get so much loot and you level up so much in these dungeons. It's so satisfying, and the combat is really, honestly, like, it's probably one of the best combat systems in any video game I have ever played, because the turn-based combat here is fairly quick with normal encounters. That's something I struggle with turn-based games, is sometimes these turn-based encounters can take like 20 minutes each encounter, and it's really, really sucks it out of the experience for me. Okay, like, I like my combat encounters to be like 5 minute max if it's not a boss fight, and that is exactly what this is. Boss fights tend to be a little bit longer, but those are boss fights, they're supposed to be more cinematic and longer. The normal combat encounters here are quick, you can get it done fast, and it's still really engaging as well. And also, if you're just flat out a higher level than an enemy, you can just take them out with straight up live action combat, or like action combat, I guess. You don't even have to enter turn-based mode, which makes it super fun as well, because if you go into a dungeon that you're over leveled for, you can just hack and slash your way through it and then get to, like, the chest, or get to the final boss or whatever. And that is also something that is extremely, extremely good as well. You can just kind of clear dungeons super fast if you're leveled for it, which adds to the incentive to do things like in your off time, like level up your social links and level up your character traits and all of that sort of thing. Metaphor Refantazio doesn't necessarily do anything that is super groundbreaking or innovative for the JRPG formula. However, it does optimize the JRPG formula immensely. It makes everything you do super enjoyable, and that is something I struggle with JRPG games. Even something like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I found myself struggling with this, sort of problem, was just like the filler content that was here and there. And I think that Metaphor Refantazio is an optimized JRPG experience. That's the best way to put it, which is very much a good thing, because everything you do has a purpose, even if it's like cooking food or something, you know what I mean? And I guess you could say that for other JRPG games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, for example, is pretty intricate, and only veterans are going to be able to understand that. And something like Metaphor Refantazio is super accessible to people who are new to the genre, and that's why I think everybody should play this game, because this is a great gateway into the JRPG genre, and I want to get into that genre personally because Atlus, the developers that made this game, are cooking, man. They released Persona 3 Reload, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and now Metaphor Refantazio. That is 3 massive games in 2024 alone. I cannot wait to see what they have in the future, and I want to get on board for this ride with this developer, because they are so good, and they put out so many games that are just such high quality, and they're always critically acclaimed. They're coming out like 4 every year. Like, that's an insane rate, and I want to get on board for that. It's just a lot of their games have accessibility issues, in my opinion, and Metaphor Refantazio fixes that. If you play this game, this is your first Atlus game, you can get on for the ride, because it spoon feeds you everything perfectly, and that is why I think this game is amazing. Just because, like, I want to enjoy more JRPG games, because it's really like the genre that is just booming right now, and I just love following the hype. I love playing games when they come out. I love going to the local game store and picking up a game on release. Like, it's just a great experience, and so the more genres that are booming that I can get on board for whenever there's a big release, I'm always looking for that, man. Like, and I'm looking for that with Atlus, and I have been looking for that for a long time, but I've always just struggled to get into their games. But Metaphor Refantazio fixed all of those issues for me, and I think that if you guys are in the same boat and you don't really like JRPGs, or you think you don't like them, you need to give this game a shot, because this is one of the best games that came out in 2024. Like, straight up, I am completely hooked, man. This is all I've been playing. I've beat the Silent Hill 2 remake, beat it twice, and then I jumped right into this, and I have not stopped. I have just sunk so many hours into it, and it just keeps getting better and better. So that's why I think everybody should play this game. Okay, this game is absolutely incredible. And dare I say, I know I said this about Astrobot, this might be my game of the year. Right now, my game of the year is tied between Metaphor Refantazio and Astrobot. I don't know which to pick in this situation, okay? I'm going to give Metaphor Refantazio a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 game for me. This game is absolutely incredible. The only other game to get a 10 out of 10 for me this year was Astrobot. It's amazing. And not I'm just gonna say this too. The soundtrack for this game rips. Okay, that's just the cherry on top. The soundtrack for this game rips, man. For the collector's edition, you get like CDs of the soundtrack, bro, and I've been having that on repeat. It is so good. The battle theme is good, and this game just oozes with style. Okay, it just oozes with style. The art style, everything, man. The visuals, it's just so good. Play this game. Everybody needs to play Metaphor Refantazio. This game completely, caught me off guard. I was expecting this game to be really good, but I was not expecting it to be one of my favorites, one of my personal favorites from this year, and I think it'll catch a lot of you guys off guard as well. Trust me, play this game. This game is great. Anyways, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys do enjoy, and let me know what you guys think of Metaphor Refantazio. This is a near perfect game for me, man. I'm excited to hear your guys' thoughts, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Make sure to drop a like and a subscribe if you like the content. But yeah, peace.